Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Command Center, where we like to put our favorite commander, maybe even yours, front and center. And you know we can't do it without those three conforming letters, EDH. What does it stand for today, Hadoken?
I'm surprised people don't know this by now. I mean, they've seen enough of this to know that it stands for Entire Design Heuristics. That's right. We're going to give a complete breakdown of the mommy set. That's right. Mom is back. The street lights is on, and she's coming with the switch.
What does this have to do with, like, ancient Egyptian writing? You said
No, he's talking about mommies. He's talking about mommies. You know, like what they talk about on, the TikToks and the Instagrams, the mommies, right?
Oh, yeah, that's what you're talking about, right?
Wait, you don't know what heuristics is, right?
You can't use big words in front of me, Ken. Now let's move on.
Before we go down that trail, we need to give a shout out to one of our patrons.
Today, we want to shout out all the patrons. Thank you for supporting the Mana Squad and everything that you're doing to help us keep this channel afloat and keep us running and giving us and delivering great content to all of you. But
kind of great.
We're working on it. We're working on it. It's a work in progress. But mostly, we want to, with this thank you, we also want to basically let you know, hey, we're sending out messages to everyone. Please let us know your favorite commander so that we can shout you out. We have a lot of you guys in the queue. We just need those commanders. So we're going to be sending out a message real soon to get that information. Look out in the Patreon for those messages.
So pretty much it's Mother's Day because we're talking about March of the Madness. And, you know, it's a basketball team that with the Sweet 16. And thank God for Princeton breaking those brackets. But anyway, March of the Machines. So we finally looked at everything and gave it an unbiased opinion about how ridiculous this set is.
Unbiased.
Nothing we say is unbiased.
I got a hate boner for Phyrexia anyway, so it's what it is. So what are we talking about today?
So today we just want to kind of cover, like, you know, how do we feel like this set performed as far as the, you know, card evaluations? Are these cards too strong, too weak? Are they just outlandish? What are the new mechanics that we got and how do we feel about them so far? And what are some of the returning mechanics and how they fit into the set as well? And maybe we'll sprinkle on a little bit of the commander precons as well and some of the things that are going on over there. So Derek, you want to start us off with what we're talking about today?
Yeah, we'll kind of go through all the major categories, the card types, highlights of cards. You mentioned some of the precons, some of the different things they brought into this set. We won't go over every variant they decided to print because obviously you don't want to watch a 7.5-hour video. If you do subscribe to the Patreon, we'll do a special tier where we review every card.
Don't do that because somebody's going to ask for that. Don't you dare lie to them like that.
So, what we're going to start with the new mechanics. We got, so battles are the big one. Battle's a whole new card type. It had kind of been previewed with stuff a little bit in the past. We were all trying to figure out what a battle was. And we have our first type of battle, which is a siege. We'll get into that more in a second. You also have backup, which is a new mechanic, which is essentially you get to throw +1 counters.
You tell them to give you 50 feet, right?
You get what?
Give me 50 feet.
You give me my 3 feet. That's what backup is. I don't know you.
Move, B. Get out of the way.
It's like, I feel like the actual ability doesn't really fit the vibe of what backup feels like it should be.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, you throw +1 counters and you like donate an ability until end of turn.
We'll figure out a better word for backup when we get to it.
We also got Incubus, which was a great band in the 90s.
Hey.
What else?
I think it's called Incubate now.
Well, whatever you do in the privacy of your own home is your business. All right.
And yes, Incubate, where you basically make these artifact tokens.
Sometimes I incubate in public. But
you can pay 2 mana to flip into creatures. They keep their +1 counters. The most important thing with Incubate, honestly, more so than the mechanic itself, is that it did change the rule for tokens. So now when you make token copies of cards that can transform, those tokens are able to transform. It doesn't affect clones. So if you clone... Let's say you clone a transform like werewolf or something like that. And you try to transform it, it's either not going to let you or it's just going to go into exile forever if it has some type of trigger. But if you make a token copy, it now has that ability to transform. Literally just thanks to these tokens. They had to adjust the rules for that. So
all the rules changes. I don't really know. Explain it to me like I'm 5 when we get there.
I'm pretty sure Wizards changed it after the fact where they were like, oh man, how did we not think about this?
But I do like, so backup and incubate are cool, but I think the biggest thing are battles. So kind of like again, these are sieges. So the way sieges work is you put them into play, choose an opponent to basically defend them. Anybody may attack them besides the defending player. And once they get destroyed and take the amount of damage, then they're going to go ahead and flip into creatures. I think they can flip into enchant, where they flip into different existing card types.
So the best way to use a battle, or siege is to take it, pick it up, throw it in the trash can, and get a planeswalker. Because that's all it is a planeswalker with extra steps.
It is a lot of extra steps because it's like we've tested this out. One of
yes,
you gave me a battle.
Mm-hmm. I run 3 of them,
and I was like, I don't care.
I'm not on pettiness and just being pig-headed. I am never going to protect a battle in my life.
I had no like desire to protect that battle. Like I didn't know what it was going to flip over into. I think I had you tell me anyway, but I was just like, I don't care if you get that.
I lied because honestly, I didn't even read the back. I just did that just to be petty. It flips into a Jinkataxis and an Omniscience. That's what it turns into.
Probably, sure.
I'll say I think the most impactful thing for battles so far has been the fact that you get these effects on permanents as opposed to instants and sorceries, and a lot of them are actually like decent. Like I think it's Invasion of Zendikar, where it's basically just explosive vegetation, but it's on a permanent and it has the ability to potentially flip into something.
Question: if you flicker a battle, will it flip to its other side?
No, it's going to stay on that same side. So if you have a way to flicker them, you can get those effects over and over again.
What about the cards that specifically flip over permanents? Will it flip into the back, or will it just flip into a 2/2?
You're talking about things that like morph cards?
Like morph cards.
It's not going to go into the other side. No, the only way it can get to the other side is through dealing the damage.
Yeah, I'm going to find a way to cheat this out because I don't want to play the battle.
You're going to have to create the card that does that.
The way Ken's going to do this is when he plays his battles, we're all going to like turn for a second. He's going to look there, and then all of them are going to be flipped when we look back.
Actually, I got it. I know how you do this. Permanents enter with no counters. There are cards that do that.
We'll get more into the rules later. Maybe that works. I'm bad at rules.
Pull up the replay screen and go to and come back with our results on that.
All right, so Kim, we know what you think. You both think that they belong in the trash, but also play them. Said, what are your thoughts on battles?
I'm a hypocrite.
Like I said, with battles, I have no desire to protect them. I'm probably not even going to play them unless I find something that I refuse to read right now that I just feel like is going to be really awesome. I have no. I don't plan to. I think there's a battle commander, isn't there?
The one that cares about.
There's a commander that cares about battles.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Unless it becomes a problem.
Yeah, I think there's some strong battles. I think from my experience with them so far, it's that front side. It's so much extra work. It feels like to kill one, and not only the fact that you play it, the defending player might have a chance to defend it. They might not. You might end up taking multiple turns. Mm-hmm. And when you basically have to sacrifice a combat or multiple combats in some decks just to get the backside of one of these cards, unless it's a really broken backside effect, it feels like, well, you could have dealt so much damage to that player. Was it worth the card advantage?
Yeah, it's a lot of effort and sacrifice just to get that backside. Anyway.
But what I will say is I'm very excited for potential other battle types because these are sieges, like I mentioned. Mm-hmm. There could be other ones. I would love to see battles where like they enter on your side and you have to defend it.
Yeah, you get like a fort to defend. Yeah. It's like a sub game.
Yeah, and like if it gets destroyed, like let's say you get a battle on your side, when it gets destroyed, it turns into a curse. So you get this really powerful effect. But if your opponents are able to kill it, you now have a curse on yourself.
The only people who care about battles are breakdancers and b-boys because you're literally breaking out the cardboard.
Look, all I need is a battle that when you destroy it, it turns into a vehicle, which is a ship. So that way I can say, hey, you sunk my battleship. Moving on. What's the next one?
That goes into the exile zone. That goes on an adventure into a dungeon.
But overall, yes. I was terrified when they announced a new card type. I love this. Someone who does not like planeswalkers, I enjoy these more. I kind of like what it can introduce. Don't you give me looks.
So all right, so Derek loves it. Ken is like
hates it, but we'll play it.
Ken hates it, but we'll play it. I'm indifferent. All right, let's move on to
so the next big thing from this set that I want to talk about are the Praetors. We got the final form of the Praetors, essentially, where all of the 5 Praetors are just their names. They got no official titles or anything. It's just names. So these are like their fully formed selves, and they all have the ability to transform, some with conditions, into sagas on the backside.
Repeatable sagas.
Yes, where they can go into saga, back to creature, back to saga. Varying power levels. You got stuff like Jingataxius and Elish Norn.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good.
No, those two which are just ridiculous.
Completely broken.
You got You Are Ass, which I will never recognize as a card.
Urabrask is incredibly powerful.
They made him powerful this time.
I think he's the most powerful built to his peak because you could just do the Bergie Storm thing and just straight up, like, it's not going to be a fun deck to watch. It's going to be that 7-hour turn. that you need to get calculators and PhDs to solve, but like
Yeah.
it's gonna go off. But
And Sheoldred is doing some things too.
Yeah.
But the one surprisingly who's just there is
Vorinclex is so
Vorinclex
bad.
is just kind of there.
I'm gonna so prove y'all wrong. Vorinclex is actually so broken, it's so stupid. Like actually, and they're actually looking at it in lesser formats now because it may actually break them. Vorinclex is hold up, soapbox time.
Doesn't Vorinclex ability cost like 10 on his own?
Yeah.
No, it costs 4, then it costs 4 to flip.
No, it costs 10 to flip or 8 to flip.
No,
8.
it don't.
It costs 8.
Vorinclex,
Okay, you.
It costs 8. I have it. It's
Oh,
up.
I got you with the Jeopardy music.
No, it costs 3 to flip.
No.
It costs 3 to flip.
6
You're
and
looking at
2
Elish
green.
Norn.
Okay, sorry. I jumped the window. I jumped the shark.
All right, we'll cut that.
Vorinclex. No, we need to keep that. It shows.
It shows I'm human.
Yes, this is the first time we've ever got Ken being wrong on camera, to my knowledge.
Oh, Vorinclex is broken anyway. You get to search for lands and then keep bopping them in.
But they go to your hand. Either way, I love Vorinclex. It seems like the least powerful one because you have to pay 10 mana, you mill some cards, you get some +1 counters. But
Yeah.
overall, design-wise, Ken, how are you feeling about them as a cycle?
They're just Praetors are going to be broken. They've always been broken. Anytime somebody puts one on the table, you know it's a threat. So they just made bigger threats. These are just bigger a-holes because now they flip back and forth, and then when they ETB, they do more stuff. Like these are broken, and they're literally designed to end the game.
Yeah, I love that since these are the leaders of the Praetors, they are different than some of the other Praetors we've been seeing. Either from the set or just in past in general, they actually feel like generals now. Like the fact that they can lead a whole faction, I believe it now. I never believed that Jin Kataxis was a brawler or could square up. And I like, okay, now he's a problem. Now, okay, hide your kids, hide your wife.
Yeah, I know, as someone who loves Praetors in general.
Have you ever put Jin Kataxias into battle?
Yes.
No, no. You've played Jin Kataxias, but have you ever wanted to attack with Jin Kataxias?
No. Nah.
They both just sit in the back, everyone discards their hands.
I know specifically Jin Kataxis had his lunch money taken. I know that specifically. He knows what the toilet tastes like. He knows what wedgies feel like.
Yeah, this Jin Kataxis went to he's been lifting.
That man, the Jin Kataxis have been fasting all through middle school because he had that lunch money taken.
Yeah, but he been lifting weights now. He been hitting the gym
A little bit.
Yeah.
So this as a Praetor lover. Sorry, what were you gonna?
I'm just saying, Bankhead was dangerous for him because the cookie stayed hooking.
As a Praetor lover, I think this is my favorite, or not. I think this is my favorite cycle of Praetors.
Yeah.
Mainly because I agree with you. I think the thing I didn't like about previous versions, if anything, was I didn't feel like it captured the epicness of a Praetor. They were big, scary creatures, but we have so many of those in Magic. They're just big threats. We have Titans and we have Elder Dinosaurs and everything. It kind of blended in. The fact that we get the sagas on the back, on top of the creature, and it feels like it's basically telling the story of these Praetors is my favorite thing about it. The flavor of it's amazing. So despite the fact that yes, some of them are incredibly broken and some of them are going to be a menace in playgroups, I think that the fact that you get a powerful creature mixed with the saga, it's a
planeswalker.
It's the best way I've ever seen them represent the tale and story of a creature.
I think Magic or Wizards' goal right now is let's planeswalkerify every card that we can now. Everything's gonna have 15 abilities.
I have a new concept that for Magic cards now. It's called We FIFO. That's right. We F around and find out. So that's pretty much what you do with these Praetors. You're gonna find out what you about to catch.
Yeah. I will say, I guess my closing thought on the Praetors are this Vorinclex is my favorite design Praetor ever of all the Praetors. I know I just said it's not very good, but it's by far my favorite because it has really big splashy effects without being. Some of the Praetors before I felt like were so oppressive that if you wanted to put it in a deck just because you love the lore and the flavor and the art and everything, it didn't matter. People are just going to kill you because it's obnoxious. Vorinclex will still cheat creatures into play, put a bunch of +1 counters, have a big splashy effect to make it seem like some Phyrexian god without being unplayable in a casual deck.
Or shutting down other players at the table.
Yeah, it's not oppressive in really any way. And I'm a huge fan of it. So any other closing thoughts on Praetors? Are we ready for the next part of this March of the Machine?
They will destroy you all.
Yeah. Well, not based on the story or the lore, but we'll get into that.
Apparently, if we go based on story, you just gotta flick them in the nose and they're done. It's like a shark. If you just punch it in the nose hard enough, they just cry and run away.
Boop. So who we got next?
Next up, we're gonna go into more different card types. So that's kind of the main set. We got the mechanics, the Praetors. The next thing I want to talk about, it's kind of an offshoot from the main set that they did, are the Multiverse Legends. So they decided to, in basically, I think every pack, I don't know how packs work anymore, some of the packs, you can get a Multiverse Legend. So this is a collection of legendary creatures throughout really the history of Magic and printed in showcase frames to match their planes. So we got awesome stuff like Grimgrin and Ragavan and all these just random different legends in their special frames. And we also, to throw the little thing on top, even with the Predators, there's serialized versions of all this. I think we could just leave those out. Nobody, in most cases, you're not going to open a serialized card. They're like thousands of dollars. It's cool for like the collectors and people that want to spend all their rent money on cards, but like I think we're just going to focus on the more available versions.
Yeah, I put things like that on my mind, like those chase cards, those special rarity things. Sure, okay. It's just I wouldn't know the difference. Like if it was an altar or the special collector card, I just would not know.
I'm 1,000%. I don't care about none of these. This is just a cash grab, and that's all I see. And reprints, okay, thank you.
It works out really well, though. It does kind of tank. So one thing, the serialized cards in general do bring down the prices of the non-serialized ones by a good bit. Because the collectors have something to chase, and the people like us that just want a pretty card, it really does help prices. So I'm definitely...
I'll check that out then.
So yeah,
I'm on board for that.
So you know those special mythics that you bust open the L Drain and you thought, oh, this is special and expensive. Yeah, now it's $2. So thank you.
I mean, I'm cool with that. I like cheap prices. But overall, how do you all feel about the Multiverse Legends? Do you like any of the arts? Do you like the Halo foils? Do you like bringing back old reprints in packs?
I care about the tokens more than I care about those.
Okay. Hot take.
I just like those special art cards. Keep doing that. Keep doing that.
All right, I like the Multiverse Legends. I will commit as the one that did it. It reminds me of when they did like the Strixhaven, the Strixhaven ones. With the frames. I forgot what the names of those were, but I love those. It makes the cards a lot cheaper. It's fun for someone just to open a pack who didn't play 10 years ago, and I just opened a Grimgrin. What is this? I get to play zombies now. So like. I love what it does, having some Chase Ragavans and stuff. But I think in general, it's just fun. If you open a pack and you have a commander in there from a set 7 years ago, it's cool to see, especially for people just getting into the game.
Gotcha.
All right. So no negative thoughts. In general, I guess not too many thoughts on Multiverse Legends. Let's move on to the commander decks. I don't know anything about the actual commanders or the commander decks, but the most important thing is Plane Chase is back.
Plane Chase is back. And I do just want to talk about that real quick because the idea of Plane Chase... And within a game of like Magic the Gathering, it doesn't have to just be commander, but the idea of Plane Chase, it for some reason it just doesn't sit right with me, even though it fits directly into what this game is supposed to be. Where we as players are planeswalkers battling each other on the battlefield. And hey, if we decide to jump planes, we jump planes. But to actually see that happen in an actual game, it just feels weird. Like it doesn't feel right, but it not quite wrong, but it just doesn't. I can't explain it.
It's like sitting on a wet toilet seat. Like you know something is off about this.
Like, did I do that, or was that already there?
Like, who is in my house right now? Why is it wet?
All right, I can't speak from experience on that, but I kind of see what you're saying a little bit. It's like like we're doing it, and it's supposed to be here, but like, is it?
Why would your toilet seat be wet? What are you doing to make your toilet seat wet?
We don't know.
I feel like they're like ceramic, so the whatever wet should fall off. Like
it could be from the sink. I don't know. Could be from the shower.
I need y'all to stay out of my business.
I just used your toilet. Now I'm scared.
Did you sit down?
No, and now
all right, you good. All right, moving on. What's the next topic here?
Plane Chase is weird.
Plane Chase.
Plane Chase. What are your thoughts on Plane Chase?
It's unnecessary. I hate sub games. Look, I just want to play Magic. I don't want to go.
He just played like 3 battles last time we played.
I don't want to have to fight it out in the shadow round for my life. Like, I hate all this extra stuff. Like, we're going to talk about that later, but keep going.
I love Plane Chase. I'll be the random dissenting opinion. I think Plane Chase is great. I really enjoy what I feel like playing Plane Chase really discourages like the min-maxing that can get into Commander sometimes. It's really hard to get in, and like if you're trying to like hyper efficiently murder everyone, you're probably just gonna have like something thrown off completely because this plane says you have to mill half your library and everything gets reanimated. Like
it's chaos for chaos sake.
And we did Plane Chase last time. A few weeks back, and I was enjoying it just a little bit until we got to planes. There was just like those chaos sides of the plane. I don't really like the chaos sides of the plane.
Sacrifice half your board.
So
Yeah.
one thing I will
Go
say
eat
is,
at Jimmy John's. It's like, this is just ridiculous.
do we just every sub shop in the world we barely have a vendetta against
If
that.
you ain't Publix, you catching these strays.
Hey, that's pub sub. Shout out. We love you.
I got my local. We all got our LGSs, our local game shops. I got my local deli shop.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
But one thing I will say is I do agree on that. There are some planes that I don't find particularly fun, and that's what I really love about them printing more cards.
Mhm.
There's so many planes now to pick from. You can just go in and hand pick the ones that feel the most fun
Okay.
and make it so it's less of the like. 'Cause some of them are a little bit too chaotic. I agree.
Wait a second. Okay, the only plane that I actually want to play is a Verasca/Hapatra, and it has to be called Snakes on the plane. That's the only way I'm doing this. That's the only way I'm doing this. And this,
We'll create a special plane just for you.
Snake. As a matter of fact, okay, for our Patreon people, how we do our Commander Petty, we're gonna create specialized planes of our own design. That's coming.
Oh gosh,
Hey.
we're gonna hate each other. This is
Oh, yeah.
wonderful.
Okay.
We're gonna.
Okay, I'm for it.
We went from plane chase is an extra game, too many steps, don't do it, to we're making our own plane chase literally within 30 seconds. I
Like
love
one
it.
plane chase is gonna be like, you lose.
if you came to this plane,
you lose. If you flip to this plane, you lose. and you owe me $5. Like real consequences. Like eating lemon pepper wings.
dang, who lives here?
Rolled chaos. I have to for mine. I roll chaos. I have to drink a gallon of milk. Y'all are trying to murder me.
And then sit on a subway or a martyr bus. Either way.
Just turn it into Dare.
Oh, yeah. This is a wonderful idea. This is a terrible idea, but also a wonderful.
Truth or Dare play chase.
Yeah. Be a Falcons fan. You know, weird stuff like that.
When did we start playing Ring of Fire? Why did this turn into?
Anywho, what do we like to move on to?
So those are all the major, really, the card types and the exciting things. Though I wanted to close out with kind of our closing thoughts on the set as a whole. How do we feel about whether the limited environment? I think we all did some sort of draft or have seen drafts. How we feel about it for Commander? Just how do we feel about the set? So, said you're gonna go last. We're gonna start with Ken.
I think Commander is going to be busted. I actually retooled a lot of my decks with some of this new stuff, and you guys are going to feel it. But anyway, there's a couple of mechanics in here that I'm thinking are going to be busted and are going to eventually be banned. Because, like, backup, for some reason, I feel like backup is dangerous. You know how you leave the house and you think you left the stove on? That's what backup feels like. I'm thinking this is going to break something, but I just don't know what. And incubate, you know, in itself, I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit when everybody else is wrong too. Like most of y'all are. But incubate is dangerous, okay? It is offensive. And if I can figure out a way how to make what's black, green, and white?
That's I know colors.
Whatever shard that is, I'll need to create it because I'm gonna create an incubate deck that busts all over. Wait, I can't. That finishes on. That finishes on.
I think there's an incubate recon. Yeah, go just start there.
Okay, because incubate. Oh my god, it is disgusting, and you can board wipe and then flip.
You incubating and busting is very much disgusting.
Against that of my person.
All right, so Derek's telling me I was gonna go last, but I forget that I'm gonna go second. So I want to say overall, I think that the cards in here are pretty strong. But that's what I feel like should happen since this was the apex of the Phyrexian saga going on here. Like this is the height of
the climax.
The climax. This is the final battle right here. So like these guys needed to put up a shut up. So I love the power. We want to say power scaling of these cards or whatever, or the power level of these cards. I think they're pretty good as far on its face.
Yeah, it's like horseradish. You think it ain't strong, but then you playing yourself.
You talking about wasabi?
Yeah, same difference.
So overall, yes. The Commander precons, I'm gonna have to take a deeper look into that. I've looked at maybe all of them. I can't tell if there's 4 or 6. Anyway, but I do want to evaluate them on their own and figure out which one I want to start with. On that end, the lore sucked. Sorry, this was just super dry. I can't explain Wizards or Magic the Gathering's writing. Like I hear that the stories are written well, but the payoffs are just like why? What's happening? What's going on?
Yeah, it's Popeye's biscuits dry. Like we need all the moisture.
So yeah, I love the set as well. I think this is one of my favorite sets in the last couple of years. It felt like I actually did a sort of like a pre-release thing with some friends where we did like a multiplayer game. It was fun to play in like a limited format. It was super fun, and I love so many of the cards for Commander. There's not a lot of cards that like seem annoying, but there's also a lot of like powerful, expensive payoffs when you have stuff like a Tali and all the Praetors and all the mana that goes into all this. It feels like, from what I've heard from people that play limited, it's a wonderful limited set. It feels like it's going to bring a ton of fun stuff to Commander. I haven't heard of anything outright just breaking formats yet, which is kind of rare at this point because there are so many unique and like innovative type designs. Maybe eventually. So yeah, overall, it's one of my favorite sets in a while. And you mentioned some of the Commander precons and stuff. Yeah, we'll have to kind of to be determined.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah, and this set is pretty powerful, and I also played in the limited draft as well, and then I immediately went to a church to get the demon out of me because obviously I was corrupted for having to play that.
But yeah, overall, very much in love with the set. I agree with you though on the story though. I was kind of sad to see these like. Anytime I'm one of those people that watches horror movies, I love monster movies, and I always root for the monster to somehow win because I feel like they're misunderstood and they're just living their best beastie life.
Go Meg.
Yeah, and like it made me feel like obviously the Phyrexians need to lose. They're evil and they want awful things and all these things, but it felt like it was just too easy to kill them. Like if it was that easy to murder them. So, but it's hard. I get it. Story. I can't write, so I can't really criticize on that, but. I do like the set itself for the playing is wonderful.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to see good resolutions and payoffs with the Martial Machine Aftermath. Hopefully there's a story attached to that that can wrap up what we experienced, and maybe there were some more side stories that we didn't hear or see. So
I don't care anything about the lore. Only lore I know is that apparently a Praetor left his shoe at a dance and turned into a pumpkin. Anyway, if you see any of these cards that we talking about or from this set, actually, get them now because they're kind of cheap. You want to look at our affiliate link at the bottom of TCG Player. You can help yourself out. Help out your local LGS and us at the same time. And if you're going to look fresh, you're going to have to dress fresh too. How are we going to do that?
We're going to make sure that we get our apparel from Into the AM because, like you said, we like to eat fresh. We like to dress fresh, and of course, we like to play fresh. So make sure you pick up your gear from Into the AM using our affiliate link as well, and that way you get yourself a 10% discount.
Now remember, in space, they can't hear you scream.
Something about dripping.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
Incubate.
I hate y'all so much.